All right, we have Patrick Willis back on the podcast. It's been a few years since we've had Pat back with us, and there's been a pretty significant development since we've last had you on. Pat, you got enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So first of all, congratulations. Second of all, I know you've talked a lot about it, and your speech was obviously phenomenal. But what does it mean to you now to have that title, Hall of Famer, in front of your name when people say it?
I'm laughing right now because I just got picked on because I was like in the name column. It was just Patrick Willis, and for the first time I was like, you know what, let's put a Hall of Fame on the end of that, because it's one of those things that, truthfully, it's a prestigious honor, and as the respect I have for those who grind that they do to achieve the things that they achieve, such as those with those titles, such as doctor or judge. If I'm not claiming to be, on the same level, but it's pretty cool to hear Hall of Famer Patrick Willis, or Patrick Willis the Hall of Famer. So just humbled and grateful and just thankful for everyone who has supported and showed love through the journey.
Yeah, so I'd imagine it's got to be a pretty crazy weekend with you being pulled in all sorts of different directions. But was there any interaction, any conversation you had with any other Hall of Famers or players that really stuck out to you that you'll remember for a long time coming out of that weekend?
Really, I had a great time really speaking with each and every one of the Hall of Famers. I will say that I had a chance to speak. I've seen Emmett before, but growing up, Emmitt Smith, being a Cowboys fan, growing up, Emmitt Smith was one of the focal players on that team. But before him is Walter Payton. So it goes Walter Payton, then Emmitt Smith for me. And I remember just having a conversation with Emmett. And as I'm having a conversation with him, I'm having a star-like moment at the same time, because I'm like, man, I remember being in the 6th grade wanting to get your shoes, because I felt like if I could just get those Emmitt Smith shoes, then I would be able to run the ball like Emmett, and, the team would like me, just all these things that were going through my head. And here I am talking to this one guy that I would have thought, I would never have the chance to speak with, because I felt like they were so much older than I was. And they are a little bit older than I am. But being enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, though they are older and they have been in longer than I have, the way in which they embraced myself and the others of this class, it was really really special, and they made us feel special. And that was a special moment for me to be able to speak with someone that I admired growing up, idolized growing up, and now to be sharing the same prestigious honor as he it's really special.
So what's the deal with the gold jacket? Is it just hanging in the closet? Do you ever look at it? Do you ever at home and just feel like throwing it on and just kind of soak it in a little bit, or what's the deal with the jacket at the house?
I have had some friends that said, man, if I had that jacket, I would never take it off. Man, I would go to the store probably with nothing on underneath it. I said, whoa. But I will say that, I did the other day pulled it out the closet and put it on just to make sure it's still, fitting. And it felt pretty special, as I pulled it out and put it on. It was just one of those things where it's like, man, this is it's not a replica. It's not one that's just made and you want it to be yellow or you want it to be gold. No, this is the real deal. And I'm just truly like humbled and just, Lord, thank you for the journey to be able to make it to such a prestigious place, and then not just make it to the NFL, but to leave a mark in a way that now I am considered, one of the best to ever play it. I don't even have the words to describe what I'm trying to say right now, other than just full of gratitude. So,
yeah. No, that's really cool. And I think, anybody in any walk of life who's had any sort of career can reach a point in life where they can look back and say, man, I wish when I was younger, I knew this, and maybe that would have helped me back then. Is when you look back and, obviously what you've been through as a kid and as a teenager has been well documented. But now that, you have a chance to look back at everything you've accomplished and how successful you've been, is there anything you wish you could tell yourself as a kid, as a teenager, that would that you wish you knew at the time, given all the challenges that you went through?
Truthfully, when I look back, it's not so much what I would tell myself differently. It would just be to, and just go that much harder. Hold on to that undeniable faith. Believe truly in what it is that you see inside of you, and don't stop until it has become a reality. And that's what my mission was. I saw what I saw as a kid. I saw what I saw as a kid, the vision that I had, and I believed in it. I believed in it wholeheartedly. And I said, man, if I wasn't supposed to see that, then I would not have saw it. And so I would just say, just go even harder and believe, keep that same faith. And again, there's always little moments here and there that you could do a little different, but had I done anything else more different or any different, then who knows would I be where I am today. And so I'm humbled in this presence.
Yeah, one of the things about your speech that stood out, you talked about knowing the last play you ever played. I think it was October 2014, and a voice is telling you, like, yeah, this is it. And I'm curious, like, an athlete of your stature that's accomplished what you accomplished, even leading up to that point, was it sadness in that moment when you kind of knew that this was it? Was it relief? Like, what was the emotion going through your head when, you work your entire life to get to a certain point, and then you just kind of have this this moment of clarity where it's like, man, this is it? Because it seemed like you were kind of content when you're talking about it in your speech, but I'm curious, like, where your head was at in that moment.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. It was when I started the game in 2007, my rookie year. I was wise enough to understand that this game will come to an end at some point, whether it's your choice or whether it's someone else's choice. The game will end and life will go on. And I just remember the conversations I had with myself in 2007, and here we are now in 2015 and 14 at that moment. And I just remember saying to myself, man, I just remember having the conversation with God, my higher self, the higher power. And I said, Lord, like, is it time already? Like, I'm like, it can't be time. Like, part of me wanted to be like, no, just a little while longer. But, I'm trying to narrow it all down with what I'm trying to say. And I guess to sum it up, it would be when it's time, it's time, and what I mean by that is, in life, I saw some people that were young that passed on early, and I thought you had to live a long life to die or to go on, to transition on. And that wasn't the case. I saw someone that was close to me pass on that was younger, and I was like, man, but they lived a life that was so amazing that you were like, well, shucks, I'd rather have lived a short amount of time than to have lived a long time and not have been as effective. And so early on in my career, I told myself I want to be as effective as I can be each and every day, so that when that day comes, I will be able to be judged on what I have done and not what I could do. And so when the time came, it was tough, but it was time.
Yeah, and so I kind of want to I ask a lot of players this, given this is more about the current 49ers, given they've been so close, right? They've gone to a couple Super Bowls, they've been to NFC Championship games, and obviously you experienced those things in 2011, 2012, and 2013. What's the challenge the following season after you get to a NFC title game or you get to a Super Bowl and you don't win it? Is it do we on the outside make too much of, the quote unquote hangover effect? Like, is it really difficult to get mentally and emotionally ready for the following season when you got so close the season before and didn't win it? Or as a football player, are you just like, man, it's August, it's training camp. Like, no matter what happened the year before, I'm feeling the same as I would any other year.
I think it's a little bit of both. As a professional, you know that you have to show up. It's time to work. It's time to grind. Also, at the same time, when you've had a taste of success, you've had a taste of what victory feels like. You want more of it. You want to get back to that feeling. And I feel like the Niners have had a tremendous run, and to get that close last year, and they've been close before, there's no doubt in my mind that they are not thinking that we have to get back. And they could even be thinking that, hey, it's either win a Super Bowl or it's a bust for us. And I don't want to say that out loud, but I really feel like, they have to win the Super Bowl or else it will be a bust for this team. Because, again, they have all the pieces. They've had the pieces for a while. And, again, speaking for someone who, we busted. We went, but we didn't get it done. And so, as anything, though, it's always about the next generation, right? And so right now they are in, and so it's on them to win it. And they've been very close over the past few years. And so I don't see why this year they cannot. I know that they are getting back. They're all pro safety Hufanga, but they also are losing one of the key factors to that team, to that defense, and Dre. And so they're going to have some things to overcome. But, again, I still feel like they have some tremendous pieces to make an amazing run and really to be able to win it all if they do it just right.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting parallels between your era or your teams that you had and this current team, obviously this team has Fred, you had NaVorro, and Fred has Dre Greenlaw. I'm curious, like, what having a star linebacker next to you does for you in terms of allowing you to maybe play more freely or not having to worry about the guy next to you. Like, how would you describe the impact of having an elite guy next to you, and how can that maximize your own play?
Yeah, man, it's a tremendous feeling to have a team on offense and or defense full of guys that you don't have to think twice about it. You know that they're going to do their job each and every snap, and that's a great feeling. I was fortunate enough to play on some teams with that kind of feeling, where on defense you knew that like each guy is going to do what they're supposed to do, and on offense. With that being said, I do know that feeling of what it felt like going into 2014 season, not having your protege, not having your linebacker, your brother, the person that you look to your left and you're so used to going into battle with. It was different. It was different, and part of me was in my head thinking like, man, am I gonna have to do way more than I've ever done? But I'll say this, as I shared with Fred, just, man, do what you have done your whole career. Don't try to do, don't get outside of yourself by trying to overcompensate to, play, to do what you and Dre would both do, man. Just do what you do, and the rest is going to fall exactly how it's supposed to be. Don't get outside yourself, because that would be the worst for the whole team. So, he's a vet in this thing. I know he's going to have those guys right, but I also know that he perhaps feel some pressure. But again, I think he's the guy for the job. I know he's the guy for the job. So,
for sure. Well, you've been more than generous with your time. But before we get you out of here, why don't you tell us and the listeners about the new card collection with Spectre, the Willpower Official Immortals trading card. I believe it's the 4th edition that came out today as we're recording this Wednesday, August 28th.
Yes. I am excited about the drop today. this right here is a collaborative effort with Jordan, like you said, with Immortals. This collection right here is called Immortals Willpower, and it just goes to the power of vision and not being denied. And I'm excited about, you all getting it. It's only 1,352 cards. They are all very, very unique. And I can't wait for you all to go to the website, which is spectersportsart.com, and check them out. Check them out. Give me the feedback. I am excited. I'm excited for the drop. And part of the proceeds also go to my nonprofit, the Patrick Willis Community Fund Foundation. You can find out more about that at patrickwilliscommunityfund.org. Again, just excited about this day. It's all about leaving something behind. So this is part of the legacy. Go check it out.
All right. That is Hall of Famer Patrick Willis, kind enough to join us again on Candlestick Chronicles. Pat, congratulations on everything again, man. Hopefully it won't be too long till we get you back on here, and maybe I'll catch you at Levi's Stadium roaming the sideline sometime. Okay.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you.